Joe Roach at Thermo Fisher Scientific, a Cloud9 customer, recently spent some time with us explaining how his company runs its weekly sales meetings with Cloud9 Analytics.
So the next few slides just give you examples of some of the weekly management reports that our sales management team receives from Cloud9. I just want to point out that all the data in the screenshots has been altered just for presentation purposes, but I think you'll still get the idea of what we're looking at on a weekly basis. So the first report here is our executive summary. This is really the first tab of our weekly messenger report. And this summary looks at all of our opportunities that are closing within the current month. As you can see here, we've also built in a change so we can look at this week versus last week and see what that change is. So a manager can get a quick snapshot of his direct reports and understand, what the change is. Have we increased the pipeline? Have we increased the closed won business, etc. So at a high level, again, a manager can just take a quick snapshot of this and just understand the trend for his or her direct reports. So as you can see here, this is built on our forecast categories. So within Salesforce.com, for any Salesforce.com users out there, you're probably also using the forecast categories. So we segment the business in our executive summary based on forecast category. So we can look at pipeline, best case, commit, won, and then we combine a couple of categories, best case plus one, and then commit plus one. So, a number of different ways to slice the pipeline and look at the change this week versus last week. Next slide, please. So the next report is really a drill down of the executive summary. And again, this is specific to the role hierarchy. So when the sales manager receives this report, it's just a summary of his or her reps. And what this does is it drills down on the activity by rep. So we have different buckets that we capture. In this particular example, you can see that we're capturing new opportunities this week, new opportunities last week, and new opportunities for the month. We're also pulling in pipeline information, so pipeline last week, pipeline this week, and then we're calculating the change as well. We also include other things like additional pipeline categories as well as closed business. So this is a great snapshot at the rep level to understand the activity that's taken place within the given month for a specific rep. Next slide, please. The next management report here you see is just a new opportunities report, and this is really just a simple report, but it's something that we lacked visibility of before Cloud9. So we have a separate tab within our messenger report that identifies new opportunities. And the nice thing about this report is it's actually sorted by amount. So the sales management team can look at the opportunities that have a higher amount and understand from the sales rep if additional internal resources are needed to close out the opportunity. So this is just a good way not only to see all the new opportunities that are generated, but to also understand, which opportunities are the more complex opportunities and if additional resources are needed to close those opportunities out. As you can see on the screenshot here, we capture the opportunity name, the owner, the amount, and then we also pull in other supplemental fields like the probability of closure, the sales stage, and the close date. So this report can be used, with multiple sorts. So we might want to look at amount and then look at the close date and understand, which opportunities have the highest amount and the shortest time to close. So it's good visibility to our sales managers, and it really lets the reps know that the managers are looking at the new opportunities that are added to the sales funnel each and every week. Next slide, please. So the next report that we look at on the weekly sales distribution is the detail deal change. So this is really the bread and butter of Cloud9, and the ability to look at opportunities and only identify those opportunities that have changed. So as you can see here, there's a change field as well as some additional supplemental information like amount, old stage versus new stage, and there are some additional fields that were cut off within the screenshot. But we look at certain buckets within this field. The examples that you see on the screenshot, you have a close date change. So this identifies an opportunity that was pushed out from close date perspective. We also look at sales stage changes and whether or not amounts have increased or decreased for the opportunity. So this, this identifies, kind of positive changes. So anytime maybe an opportunity close date is pulled in, I would consider that a positive change, or the amount of the opportunity increase, that would be considered a positive change, as well as the negative changes. So close dates are pushed out, opportunity has decreased, or maybe an opportunity stage has been dialed back. So it really can point out the good and the bad. And it's really a powerful report because you can take the change field and you can actually sort by change. So you can start to see trending. So if you have a single sales rep that may be pushing deals out all the time, with a simple sort of the data, you can really identify that trending by sales rep. And then at the at the regional level or at the zone level or even at the country level, just doing sorts on this data really shows you the trending that's taking place in the field. So this is a really powerful report, and again, this is really the bread and butter of Cloud9 and really the nice kind of value add to our sales managers. Next slide, please. One thing we struggled with before we had the Cloud9 application was to be able to understand the deals that were deferred. We really didn't have any visibility to this. We could manually go into Salesforce.com and look up individual opportunities, but we really didn't have a great report that consolidated it all in a single snapshot. So as you can see here, what we capture on this report are those opportunities where the close date is pushed out. So the examples you have here, some are more extreme than the others. So the first example on the screenshot, you've got an opportunity that was slated to close on November 27th, and you can see that it's actually being pushed out to the end of February. So that's a major red flag for us because not only is it being pushed out, but it's being pushed out into the next quarter. So that obviously would be something that we'd want to talk to the sales reps about and understand, why the original date was November and, why is it being pushed out 3 months. And, some of the other examples, so on the second line here, you've got another opportunity that was slated for the end of the year, and now it's being pushed out into the Q2 timeframe. So those are reports, or this report can be used to really drill into the individual opportunities and understand why they're being pushed out. There's also the change field here, so it's always interesting to also understand if the value of the opportunity has changed along with the close date. So you can again use the sorting functionality to look at those opportunities that were deferred and also understand what additional information changed with the opportunity. And again, this is based on role hierarchy, so it's a filtered list for our sales management team. So it really provides good visibility to those key deals that they need to focus on and try to pull them back in.